Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I've got a question. Is there a doctor in the house? Well, guess what? There is. So you gotta say, "Nah, what's up, Doc?" I am so sorry. But apparently some of you do subscribe for the childish humor. But what's not childish is today we are taking a look at from the Transformers Siege line. This is Deluxe Class Ratchet. Ratchet is going to be a Walgreens exclusive, and apparently some people are finding it in Walgreens stores now, as of this recording, which I think is August 6th, 2019, but realistically, for most of us, we would be able to find it closer to the holiday season in around October, November. I got this figure from eBay because in Hong Kong and maybe some other Asian markets, Ratchet is going to be a Toys R Us exclusive. Don't forget, folks, only in the United States and some other territories did Toys R Us close. And places like Hong Kong and Canada, it's actually thriving. But enough of that. Here we have Ratchet in its vehicle mode. And it comes with like some really nice accessories. There's actually 3 accessories here. First, this little blaster laser scalpel. Second is this whole armature bit, which is very reminiscent of the classic G1 toy launcher from the sled. And then this wrench, which is removable, and of course you can plug the laser scalpel in. And what's really nice is there's even a port in the back, so if you wanted to, as it comes in the packaging, you can have all 3 weapons, I should say accessories, combined together. Now, of course, Ratchet, as always, well, except in the movie line, is a repaint of the previously reviewed Deluxe Class Siege Ironhide. Now, one thing I just want to say right off the bat, a little nitpicky, I know. Both figures are going to be around $20 when released. Ratchet is going to be an exclusive, so it stands to reason that he would come with less accessories. Now, I understand the whole thing with parts count and plastic, but Ironhide only came with that one launcher. Yes, it can transform into a hammer, but Ratchet came with like 3 accessories. Personally, I think Ironhide would have been a lot better had they just scrapped that hammer launcher thing and included the this armature here and the laser rifle, because that's something we've seen Ironhide use more often, because he was more of like a alternative weapon sort of guy. I know, a little nitpick, but while we're here, let's talk about the differences between the figures. Right off the bat, you should notice that the front ends here are different. Whereas Ironhide has 4 5mm ports, Ratchet only has 2, and of course the whole bumper is different. The windshields are the same, but let me turn the launcher here out of the way. One thing you should also notice, and I almost missed, is that the shoulders are heavily retooled, so Ratchet can have a light bar and it not be a separate piece like on Red Alert and Prowl. Other than that, the arms are similar. Turning them sideways. The side panels, the wheels, all of that, all the same. I do want to mention, at least on my copy of Ratchet, these panels here are tight and secure. They do not fall off like they did on Ironhide. Now, for those of you who may not know, the fix for Ironhide was you had to take a Phillips screwdriver or a small drill bit and just stick it in the hole there and turn it, and that will clear out some of the flash and widen the hole so the peg could sit in better. You'll then have to let the figure sit as the plastic readjusts to fit in the hole. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird that, we're talking about plastic readjusting and this and that it shouldn't be that loose, but it is what it is. And here's the other side of the figures, and again, as you can see, they're basically the same. So, we'll do a little more comparison once we get into robot mode, and we're going to start the transformation right now. Okay, before we begin the transformation, just a few things I want to mention. The instructions show going from robot mode to the medical bay a lot of extra arm movement that you really don't need, and I don't understand why they do it. They also show like doing stuff to the windshield chest area that, for lack of a better term, you really can't do. So it transforms the same as Ironhide. So just stick with that. But we are going to go into the medical bay mode. So the first thing you want to do is remove the extra accessories here. And then you'll start like you would going into robot mode. Unpeg the panels here. Open up these back flaps here. And they peg in rather tightly. And I kind of already did it. You're going to unpeg the legs and then fold them down, just like so, and then bring these panels down. And you want to repeg the legs together. And one thing I should mention is the knees are a little looser on Ratchet than they were on Ironhide. Now what you want to do is separate the arms, bring them out to the side, then rotate them up and bring them down at the shoulder, rotating them at the upper arm area, so that basically the fists are facing out to the side and the little forearm ports are facing up. Now, the instructions again highlight like some section here in the arm, and I guess it's them trying to say rotate at that inner armpit joint and not that larger white joint that's used for transformation. But here you have, in all its relative glory, the medical bay mode. And then what you would do is peg the armature in on one side, and then peg the little scalpel here in on the other. I recommend having the wrench in the armature for this mode. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, and it's nice that they're featuring it, and it's something you can do. It is a nice little homage to the classic G1 character. Apparently, I guess Battle Masters or Micro Masters you can fit in there. But that's just a little stopgap to robot mode. So, bring the arms back around the way they were. You can separate the legs now. I would leave them together just to keep them out of the way. Bring this front bumper section back down, so then you can rotate the arms around. You will have to finagle the little armpit joints and stuff to get stuff out of the way. And then bring that back up. Open up the chest. Flip the head forward. Make sure that's all together. And remember, with the windshield, it is on a double joint. So there's that little clear piece of blue plastic. Bring it up and you just get into the gap. Separate the legs if they haven't already separated. And there's Ratchet in its robot mode. So the armature here can actually plug into the back. You can actually fold it up if you don't want it like showing or anything, or you can have it coming over its head. Put the blaster in its hand, or how I will probably display this to some extent. Have the blaster up there and his wrench in his hand. Because more damage historically has been done by the wrench than by the blaster. Yeah. So there you have that, and let's bring Ironhide in. And in robot mode, a lot of the differences pretty much the same as in vehicle mode. Obviously, different heads. They do have that nice black crest. The upper shoulder area does have a little bit of a different look now because of the retooling. You would think there's more retooling, but it's basically on Ratchet them painting different parts of the of the molded, sculpted, and detailing, that it pops differently, but it is still all the same. From the fore on down, the knees. Actually, wait a minute. Make a liar out of me. The crotches here are different. That's very interesting. And they gave Ratchet a different crotch. Turning around, backs are basically the same. It's a retool. I mean, they put a lot of effort into it, which I think is nice. And of course, I will say this is probably the best classics generation style Ratchet we've gotten. I mean, if you remember that one from Classics 2.0, both Ironhide and Ratchet were not good figures. So yeah, we'll pause right here, and I'll be back and give you my final thoughts. Okay, obviously I really like Ratchet, and I think it's a great figure to add to your collection. In fact, I think this is a great stand-in for the Masterpiece Ratchet, because if you remember that one, it came with a ton of tools and little gadgets and stuff that could be used to repair your other figures. As I said, this is going to be a Walgreens exclusive, and yeah, I know Walgreens exclusives are a little hard to find and come by every now and then. The distribution among the stores is very weird. I got this off of eBay. I did have to pay a bit of a premium to get it, but I think it was worthwhile because at least I'm guaranteed of getting a Ratchet, and being able to present the review to you, which is always a fun and a pleasure. But yeah, if you see them on the shelves of your local Walgreens or Walgreens.com, that's something I almost forgot. The day after San Diego Comic-Con, or like one of the days during, this was supposed to go up for pre-order on Walgreens.com, and it didn't. So I don't know what's going on there, and that's, in my opinion, even more reason to try and get this figure the best way you can. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But this is your old pal Chuck for Ratchet. We will see you next time.